Each spring, when the snow begins to melt, those of us who live along the river think of flooding. According to the National Weather Service flood forecast, communities along the Mississippi River from Red Wing to La Crosse could experience moderate flooding. Winona's Assistant City Manager for Public Works, Keith Nelson, said that prediction could be adjusted as the spring thaw intensifies.
It's very early. We could get rapid melt, we could get rain events, we could get snow events. A lot of things could happen. But with the current snow that's on the ground and the way it's melting and all the factors that go into it as determined by the National Weather Service, right now they're saying that there's a 10 to 50% chance the water could get anywhere from 15 feet to 10 feet high. So it's like a 10% chance of it breaking 15 feet.
At 15 feet, floodwater would be well below the 24-foot height of Winona's dike system.
The Winona's flood system protects us up to, 22 feet, which is the 285-year event, flood event. We generally, you think of the 100-year flood event as designed, but because of the size of the river and the area that it incorporates, it was designed for the 285-year event. And that's up at the 22-foot level. In actuality, there's what we call freeboard. There's another 2 feet above that, but that's in order to account for sagging of the levee, erosion or wave action or something along that line. That extra 2 feet is just protection.
So how would a 15-foot flood stage affect us? Well, at 13 feet, Winona's Prairie Island campground begins to flood. Water will also cause the closing of Cal Fremling Drive at Levy Park. But for the most part, Nelson said most Winonans won't even notice anything different, but city crews will be very active.
At about 9 feet, 9.5 feet river elevation, the crews are starting to close some gates. We're starting to turn on a few of the pumping stations, but the water still is a long ways down on the flood control system. But we have to do that, otherwise it would start coming up through the storm sewer system, and in the low spots in town, the water would start rising. But even at 15 feet, we'd be very active. The crews would be with the pumps and all that and monitoring. But again, that's a good 7 feet below the actual design of the levee.
Following the disastrous flood of 1965, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers constructed the massive dike system that protects the city today. Nelson said the dike system came with a set of operating instructions to ensure it maintains its structural integrity.
We have a book that comes through from the Corps of Engineers that shows us how to monitor and how to operate the whole system. And at certain elevations, we do certain activities. And at, I think we're down at about 12 foot, we start walking the levee and checking it on a regular basis for any kind of seeping activity or something along that line. So 12 foot is where you see some pretty serious action going on by the city staff. Every year, no matter, it seems like any spring we get some activity. We'll have to close some gates, and we always end up turning on a few of the pumps. We have 5 flood pumping stations in town, and all of them are really important that they are in prime condition. One of the issues I'm bringing to the council this next council meeting is that we have a pump at one of our pumping stations that needs to be replaced. It's a backup pump, so it's not a critical issue for right now, but you want to have the backup pump in place, and that's about $80,000 expenditure. So it's a serious project. So we are vigilant in keeping the pumping stations working, the gates working, and all of the system in place.
Now, if you are interested in following the spring flood, the National Weather Service website provides current river stage numbers and flood prediction levels.